Your brain has a security system, an ancient defense mechanism designed for one purpose: to protect you from pain and discomfort. Every time you try to force it to tackle a hard task, you aren't motivating it. You are triggering its lockdown protocol. This is why you freeze. This is why you reach for your phone. You aren't lazy. You are locked out of your own control panel. And the password isn't more force. It's something else entirely. Your brain is lying to you. Here's how to catch it. What if I told you the biggest obstacle to your success isn't your boss, your schedule, or your lack of motivation? What if it was a secret saboteur living inside your own head, an internal agent actively working against your best interests? This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a fundamental glitch in your human operating system. A glitch that turns your ambition into anxiety and your goals into monuments of procrastination. In this video, I'm not going to give you another dose of fleeting motivation. I'm going to hand you the diagnostic tool and the ancient code to fix the bug for good. Miss this, and you'll continue battling an enemy you can't see. But stay with me, and you'll learn how to turn your greatest adversary into your most powerful ally. Let's talk about Alex. Alex is smart, full of potential, and probably a lot like you. He has a subscription to 3 different online courses, a gym membership he's very proud of, and a brilliant idea for a side project that could change his life. He even bought a Peloton, which has now achieved its final form as a very expensive, minimalist coat rack. Every morning, Alex wakes up with a clear plan. Today is the day. He's going to work on the project, hit the gym, and finally start that coding course. But then the moment of action arrives. His brain, that supposed ally, suddenly pulls the emergency brake. An invisible wall of resistance appears. The thought of opening his laptop to work feels impossibly heavy. The gym feels a mile too far. And his phone, with its endless scroll of zero-effort dopamine hits, suddenly feels like the most logical, comfortable choice in the world. He's trapped in a cycle he can't seem to name. A burst of ambition, followed by overwhelming resistance, leading to distraction, and ending with a wave of self-loathing. He knows exactly what's happening, but feels powerless to stop it. This isn't a character flaw. This is the comfort trap. Your brain isn't lazy. It's a master of survival, running on software that's thousands of years old. This ancient programming has one primary directive: avoid pain, avoid discomfort, and seek the path of least resistance. Facing a difficult project or a challenging workout registers in this primal part of the brain as a threat. It's unfamiliar, it requires energy, and it has a chance of failure. So your internal saboteur gets to work, masterfully redirecting you toward the familiar, the easy, the comfortable.
Toward safety. The problem is, your brain's definition of safety is killing your potential. We've been told to fight this with brute force. We consume motivational content like it's mental caffeine, getting a temporary high only to crash an hour later. It's like trying to shout down your own security system. It only gets louder and more insistent. The ancient masters of the mind understood this. They knew that you cannot win a war against yourself. As the Buddha famously said, your worst enemy cannot harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. Alex's enemy isn't the phone or the couch. It's his own mind acting on its primal instinct to protect him from discomfort. The first principle of the Lotus method, the framework we are about to unpack, is not to fight this instinct. It's to become aware of it, to see the saboteur in action, acknowledge its intention without judgment, and understand the rules of its game. You have to see the glitch before you can patch it. But once you've seen the enemy in the mirror, How do you turn it into an ally without a single punch being thrown? That is where the real work begins. So how do you disarm this internal saboteur? By doing the one thing that modern hustle culture tells you is a cardinal sin. You stop fighting. You heard me right. The secret to breaking through resistance isn't more force, it's less. Alex, drowning in motivational podcasts telling him to crush it and dominate the day, stumbles upon the ancient Taoist philosophy of Wu Wei. It's a concept that feels like a glitch in the matrix of self-help. It roughly translates to non-action or effortless action. The great philosopher Lao Tzu wrote, "By letting it go, it all gets done." At first, this sounds like a beautifully poetic excuse to do nothing. How can you accomplish anything by letting go? But what Alex begins to realize is that his constant struggle, his white-knuckled attempt to force his brain into submission, is the very source of his paralysis. Think about it in terms of physics. For every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. The harder you push against your brain's resistance, the harder it pushes back. It's a perfect mental stalemate. Wu Wei isn't about being passive. It's not about giving up and becoming one with your couch. It's the art of strategic surrender. It's about learning to swim with the current of your own nature instead of trying to fight your way upstream. It's the difference between forcing a door open and simply using the key. Now, this sounds great for an ancient sage living on a mountain, but how does it help Alex when his rent is due and his PowerPoint presentation currently looks like a cry for help? This is where the practical application comes in. Instead of staring at the mountain of work and trying to conquer it, Alex applies the first rule of Wu Wei. He shrinks the obstacle. His brain isn't resisting the entire project, it's resisting the initial discomfort of starting. So Alex starts a negotiation. He tells his brain, "Look, I know you don't want to write this whole report. It's daunting, I get it. So let's not. Let's just open the document. That's it. We'll just open it and look at it." The brain, seeing no immediate threat in this tiny action, relents. The resistance lowers. Once the document is open, Alex negotiates again. "Okay, that wasn't so bad. How about we just write the title? Just the title. Then we can check Instagram." By breaking the task into ridiculously non-threatening micro-steps, he's not fighting the resistance, he's flowing around it. He accepts the difficulty as part of the process, and by doing so, releases the inner war. The massive, terrifying task becomes a series of light, manageable actions. He's no longer battling himself, he's calmly moving through the flow. This is the next phase in the Lotus method, releasing the grip of resistance and finding a state of harmony in effort. Alex has now learned how to stop fighting the current and get his boat moving. But getting started isn't the same as finishing. Flowing with the current is one thing, but how do you steer the boat? How do you maintain direction and find deep focus when the river of life is full of distracting crosswinds and shiny objects on the shore? For that, he needs to learn how to silence the engine and listen to the water. This is where Alex's journey takes him into the heart of Zen and the practice of Zazen, or sitting meditation. The idea seems insultingly simple. Just sit in silence.
But as Alex discovers within the first 90 seconds, sitting still is easy. Being still is a different kind of war. His mind, now that it's not being distracted, turns into a browser with 50 tabs open, and one of them is playing a cat video on loop from 2012. He's used to constant motion, believing that doing more is the only path to success. But as the Zen master Dogen taught, if you can't find the truth right where you are, where else do you expect to find it? Alex realizes that true strength doesn't come from pushing forward, it comes from having the courage to be still. Slowly, through practice, a shift occurs. His mind, like a glass of muddy water, begins to settle. The chaos doesn't vanish, but it sinks, and for the first time he experiences clarity. In these moments of stillness, his biggest challenges don't seem like insurmountable monsters anymore. They're just problems, waiting for a calm, clear solution. He was so busy trying to outrun the storm in his head that he never realized he could just let the wind die down. But here's the critical part. Stillness is the foundation, not the destination. You can't meditate your way to a promotion. That's when he remembers the teachings of the Shaolin monks. These were masters of meditation, but they were also paragons of physical discipline. They understood the deep, unbreakable link between a clear mind and intentional action. The monks knew that meditation without action leads to stagnation, and action without reflection leads to burnout. It's a perfect balance. Alex starts to apply this. The clarity he finds in his morning meditation is no longer just a pleasant feeling, it becomes the fuel for his actions. He approaches his work not like a frantic multitasker trying to juggle flaming torches while riding a unicycle, but like a Shaolin master practicing a kata. Each task, no matter how small, is given his full, undivided attention. He channels his calm into one precise, deliberate movement at a time. The fourth step in the Lotus method is born. Action with intention. He's no longer scattered. He is focused. He is effective. But even with this new system, there's one final trap. As the days turn into weeks, Alex finds himself getting impatient. He's flowing, he's focused, but the big results aren't showing up as fast as he wants. Frustration creeps back in. And this is the final, most profound lesson, symbolized by the lotus flower itself. The lotus doesn't just magically appear on the water's surface. It begins its journey deep in the thick, dark mud. It grows slowly, patiently pushing its way through resistance, unseen, until it is ready to bloom. Its beauty is a product of its patience. Alex realizes his own growth is the same. Rushing the process only churns the mud. He learns to embrace the slowness, trusting that the work he's doing beneath the surface will eventually break through. So let me ask you, which part of the mud are you stuck in right now? Is it the initial resistance, the chaotic noise, or the impatience for the bloom? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read them all. In the next video, we're going to tackle the one thing everyone is afraid to ask. What happens when this method fails? How to handle the inevitable day when you fall back into old habits, because it will happen. If you want to learn how to turn a relapse into a launchpad, make sure you subscribe, and we'll continue this journey together.